Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing with deku was Chair on part 14. Before I start, this is around later in the day because it's going to be a longer video, to my knowledge, even though I'm making it. And because of that, I'm going to do it outside of my home. And if you hear any chickens clucking, a rooster doing the same, or a peacock, yeah, that's all in my backyard. I raise chickens and we eat eggs almost every day. Well, every day actually. We have a lot of chickens. With that said, let's get back into the video. So the moment where Melissa Ejiro leaves and Zuko follow along, he hears, "Now let's see your injury, Mr. All Might." All Might. Zuko knows that he's good, and he leaves. Now, Jiro and Deku are out and enjoying the place, looking at all the other stuff that was made for heroes or regular people, and she's talking about all the smaller things, even the things that she helped makes, but not really built. As she's going along with all this, Zuko's getting real into it and talking with Melissa about all the smaller details. Since he used to be a real big nerd, he was asking about how about this hero or this hero, and were you helpful with this part or on this? And Melissa is talking more and more to Zuko. There was some flirting around, but not much. And Zuko just snapped back with some flirting as well. In the background, we see a Jiro dressed in her hero outfit because that's how they are, getting a little jealous and start judging or getting a little pissy because she's matching or connecting some things that are not really there that would make her think that she's not that great. Basically, her size compared to Melissa's, which you can obviously can tell. So Jiro's getting a little sad. I don't know why I can't think of the word. So she lags behind. And Zuko notices and asks Jiro, why you staying back there? Isn't this a date? Melissa said, "Oh, so you guys are dating? Huh. I was under the impression that you weren't." Zuko said, No, we are dating. She's my girlfriend." And Jiro gets a little happier with hearing him saying that. And said, "Yeah, we're together." And Melissa actually derailed talking about the Expo and all the other stuff, and actually asked about their relationship and how long it had been going. And Jiro said in one number, and Zuko said another number. And they both look at each other, then at Melissa. And Melissa said, "Oh, so, I see something's going on." Which made things awkward to her, but Zuko explained that, no, it was more like we were talking and one thing leads to another and now we're dating. As he kind of looks away. He's not embarrassed, but he's trying to look away and try to check on Jiro to see if she's going to be embarrassed or not, which she's not. But later down on the down some Expo, looking around, Zuko and Melissa went off in somewhere else, and Jiro told them that she's gonna get some drinks. At this point, Raka, Momo, and Suyu, I think those three only. Yeah, those three. Come by and ask Zuko what he's doing. Well, Uraka is being a little friendly, but not too friendly. She asked the first time, So what are you doing here? Zuko remembered that voice. He turns, and surprisingly, he did not see Uraraka first. He saw Momo first, and then Suyu, and then Uraraka. And he said, "Oh, hi guys, girls. What are you doing here?" Ah, damn. They are all at the same time say, "So what are you doing here, Zuko?" Zuko gets a little frightened by them, but not as much, since he handled much worse. Zuko explained himself that he was invited here by All Might for something, for extra training, and he was given a surprise meeting with a friend, and that is his friend's daughter, as Melissa Shield introduced herself. And there's no keeping a secret of it. She does say her last name, and most of them are not big fans, but Momo, since she's one of the rich, she had to know the other rich people, and remembers that David Shield is one of those rich people that makes equipment for heroes, so she's acting more on detail with that. In turn, about 5 minutes has passed, and Jiro finally came by, see Momo and Suyu, and waves hi to all of them with her earphone jack instead of her hand, since they are full with drinks. She get right next to Zuko, gave him a drink and one for Melissa. She was holding 3 at once. And one for herself with her other earphone jack. She's talking, and then she gets a little shocked to see Uraraka here, and asks why is she here. Momo and Suyu explained that they were doing a little bet on who else wants to come to the Expo with Momo. And Momo said, "Yeah, but we made it where it's fair for everybody to have a chance. And since you were gone, and since you were busy, I did not know you were here with Zuko." She thought of something, then went back to her story, and so they did rock paper scissors, all of them, and these were the 2 winners. And Uraraka is trying to say I'm sorry again, but Zuko said no, not now, no, not now. Hold on. Now, yes, I did change the picture. I don't care. Deal with it. Couldn't find anything else that's other than this picture. If you guys know, you know. If you don't, sorry. You're not old enough for this content. Please leave us a message after the beep beep. Sorry. Sorry. Where else was I going to go? Yeah. So they actually leave and go into a little restaurant, and they're talking, kept talking, until he gets a drink. He looks up and sees Denki and Manella's. They're also there. They look over at the table and saying, "Dude, again, you're picking up so many women. What's your secret?" They're both saying. Zuko kind of chuckles and said, "Actually, this is Melissa Shield. She's 2 years older than me." And Melissa introduced herself as the same. That little talk happens. Ida comes by, smack them both on the head, and tell them to work, to keep on working and not be talking with customers, even though they're friends. And he runs off working on other things. They hear some explosions, and these are not what you're thinking. It's more mechanical explosions. So they walk off. Melissa telling them it could be the robot test, seeing how fast each pro hero can do in a certain amount of time with a certain amount of villains or robots. She's explaining the rules, and when they went down the sea, Todoroki is using his fire and ice, and that small explosion with that control did a number, but since it took a massive amount of ice to cool down the area, it took 5 to 10 seconds. No, let's do 10 seconds in full for all the robots to be destroyed at once. Kirishima is with Todoroki. Yeah, I'm doing that. Todoroki explained that he asked Kirishima to be his extra for his father. It gave him extra for some reason. Zuko glanced over at Todoroki and then to Momo. Huh. Yeah, I can see it. Momo and Todoroki is acting a little odd, and they're somewhat close to each other, more than usual, so Zuko picked that up. No one else did. But Kirishima said, "Hey man, it's been a while. How about you try and see if you are any good?" Momo said, "Yeah. How about you try it, see how far you gone with your training?" We're all very curious on it. With those extra hours of training with All Might, Melissa asked, "Extra hours? Like 1 hour more?" And Zuko said, No. And Jiro actually said, "No, he's been doing lately 3 hours, but all the other lately 2 hours, but almost a few months ago, he did 5 hours of training with All Might." Melissa said, "Wow, no one was able to deal with his kind of training and that amount of time. Even pro heroes, they usually get out of breath after 2 hours." Zuko explained, "Yes, it was hard, but just pushing through, and I got used to the physical training, and it really helped me with my quirk." So Jiro pushed him off and said, come on, Deku, let's see what you can do." Zuko was flying down, and then he repositioned himself to make that hero landing, where one fist is on the ground, one knee is on the ground, and one foot is planted on the ground. That kind of pose. Can't find a picture perfect for that, so you guys are not seeing it. That little stunt of Zuko asking, he's getting permission, waiting in line. Then when the director, when she said 3, 2, 1, Zuko powered up, one for all, up to 50%, and threw a smash, but with electricity instead of wind pressure. Lightning went through his arms and through his fingers. Instead of having a fist, it was more of a palm strike. Since there were like 5 to 10 robots, he struck each one of them. With, god damn, they're loud. Sorry, nose. Struck each and every one of them lightning from each of his fingers, and one finger, their lightning going through 2 robots, which was 10. That's why it took 10 seconds. And that moment of time, the moment she said go and the buzzer going off was 1.5 seconds. Everybody's surprised, and the girls, Todoroki and Kirishima, was also surprised that Zuko can take down that many robots. God damn it, why so fucking loud? It's not even morning. God damn it, why they? I don't care about the animals, but the neighbors are just so fucking annoying. And that little scene went off. Melissa explaining if they're going to this party. And Momo is, Todoroki is, and Zuko is as well. So they all said, let's meet up at this time for we can go in together. So they do. A few hours has passed by. Zuko was in one room and Jiro was in the next. But Jiro actually came through his room because Zuko gave her extra key and accidentally saw him in like this. He was actually doing some push or extra workout to put into push-ups. And Jiro said, "Hurry up!" Oh, um, she turned around and closed the door and said, "You know, it's 5 minutes till we have to get going, right?" And Zuko said, "Oh, I thought we had more time. You can come in all you want. I'll be in the shower." She said, "No, no, it's fine. I'll wait." About 10 minutes has passed by, and Zuko finally comes out of his room looking this. She said, "Wow, you're really nice, almost like a model." Zuko kind of chuckles and thinks to his head, good thing he orders this from the model agency. It was one of his favorite suits. He said, yeah, it's almost like it. But he commented about her dress, and she twirled around a bit and saying, "How you like it?" As she gets a little blush on her ears. Zuko comments a few things. First of all, he comments on the little rose or flower on her hair, to her jacket, her gloves, her dress itself with a bow, and the shoes she's wearing. She said, "But I didn't really like the flip-flops or heels they came with. It just didn't work." And Zuko said, "No, it's fine. Actually, it looks better this way. Let's do a selfie." And I couldn't find one that had them both together, so sorry. They do. Zuko saved it and sent it to Jiro. They both are a little happy about this, and they went off. They meet up with all the others, and well, that's when the alarm went off. Zuko grabbed onto Jiro, covered her with his jacket, and see what's going on. After the alarm went off, was going, Melissa tells everybody that this is a alarm to keep all the people out or in. And when they see down in the main hall, they see everybody getting captured by the villains, by a certain equipment. They're asking why this is going on, and why isn't All Might breaking out of it. Which some of them are worried, but Melissa said that it's mainly meant for people with quirks to shut them off. Zuko looks at them and asks Melissa, "Is there any way to turn it off?" She said yes, but it's at the very top floor in that building. Zuko said, "Alright, let's go." But everybody else said, wait, but this is too risky. Zuko said, I know, that's why I'm going alone." And Melissa chimes in and said, "But you don't know how to work the equipment. I better should go with you as well." And then other people are saying, "But you don't know exactly what's up there. Could be more villains." And Jiro chimes in and said, "Wherever you go, I go. Let's go." Zuko cannot argue with Jiro, so he agrees with everybody else as well. Ila is there, and Kaminari and Manila is also there. Kirishima and Todoroki got lost. So they are the ones that are lost. They go up to each one, and every time they have a wall to get through, Zuko powers up 25% and break through the wall, and kept going until they hit to the middle ground where it has those plants. Now they're hiding, and they were going through as fast as they can until they see some villains. Zuko saw them and quickly knocked them out. There's no chance for them to get through. But when elevator was coming down and everybody was getting ready for another attack of some villains, it was Todoroki and Kirishima. they see everybody else and see them. They explain what's going on, and Kirishima and Toroki said, "Fine, let's go up." To the point where everything in canon happens, up to the point where they're outside and being taken to the top. Zuko explained that they need to get to the Melissa explained that they need to get to that building as fast as they can. Zuko say, "Okay, get on my back, I'll jump there." Jiro explained that you can't jump that far with someone on you. Zuko said, "She's not that heavy, I can do it." But Jiro said, "No," and she turns to Uraka. And Uraka said, "I can use my quirk to make you float." Zuko says, "Fine." But only her. And Uraka said, "Okay." So she did only to Melissa, which made things a lot easier. Zuko charged up to 50% and start jumping as high as he can, to the point where he's almost feet away from the building. He made some electric ball in his hand, say Kamehameha, and threw it and touched the wall, which made it crumple up like paper and then shrink, and this kind of disappeared, but all the air force went straight towards it, which pushed all the fragments and metal that was in there outward, which whoever villains were there knocked them out because of the air pressure. Zuko did a swift kick opposite way to push them both in the building, which Uraka released and was saved by Kirishima. Now Melissa and Deku get all the way to the top. Same thing happens until where David's shield is being taken away. Zuko blocked some areas, got out of the metal that he was trapped in with lightning, and made the metal itself be attracted to every other metal instead of him. Zuko checks if Melissa's okay and checks if Sam is okay. Sam was a little still shaken up, but he's still alive, barely. Zuko put some lining in his hand and colorized the wound to make sure it stays, all the blood stays in and runs off. Melissa staying there, released all the doors, and as you know, have All Might be free. And now All Might is going straight towards the top, because he was told by Melissa in a phone call that's where Zuko is and her father. Zuko, on the other hand, to see David's shield being taken to the helicopter, as Wolford too, as they're flying off, and Wolford talking about all of his plans as Venice does. And Zuko actually throw a lightning strike. It was raining outside too, so he gathered up as much lightning to himself, which somehow, basically plot, a lightning struck right exactly at Zuko, but Zuko took way more than this from Kirishima, and redirected and pointed straight at the helicopter's motors, the very part, which shut it off. And now Wolford was panicked and put on the thing, but he dropped David's shield, and he was falling faster and faster off of the helicopter, seemingly off the edge of the building. But Zuko quickly jumped off with 25%, grabbed on David's shield, jumped, and as he was still going, he landed inside the helicopter as it was falling. But Wolford attacked Zuko and David's shield with all the metal, even the hostage that was in there as well. He sadly died. attack Zuko, which pushing him towards the building, and Wilford is levitating as it seems, acting like Magneto from X-Men, and start attacking Zuko with all these rubble of metal, with David's shield also in his arms, and he's trying to make sure that David's shield is not gonna get hit, which in turn give him scratches all over. And as he turned to one side, he got scratched straight down his back, but no scars left. Actually, his shirt ripped off. At this moment, more of the group on the outside is seeing all this fight, and Momo gave them all binoculars to see further away. And when Jiro was seeing it, she saw him shirtless again, looking like this now. All the scars that kind of look like that, or scratches, that's all the scars he's gonna be getting. But he's still holding David's shield until All Might finally came up and did Detroit Smash at one of the rubble to get for Zuko can finally get away. He put David's shield all the way to the doorway and colorizing the wound to make sure it stays there. But Melissa finally got there and is holding David's shield, her father. Now the same scene goes on where Zuko and All Might is looking at. Wow, I actually forgot his name. Great, I actually forgot his name. At the villain and decide to fight him against him. So all the same thing happens in canon to the point at the end. After their last Destroyed Smash, Zuko is a little out of breath, but he got up, and the rest of the kids are finally going to them. And Jiro finally sees him, give him a big hug and gave him a kiss on the cheek. She was saying she was so worried and praying and hoping that he doesn't die on this. Zuko hugged her back, gave her a kiss on the cheek, and said, it's okay. I'm not going anywhere. As that day ended, and the day was coming up, the sun was showing, David, Melissa, and All Might finally came out of that little pothole and went to Zuko. David saying thank you, and Melissa actually giving Zuko a kiss on the cheek, saying thank you for saving us. Zuko kind of smiles and said it's no problem, but he's getting death glares from Baraka, Suyu, Momo, and Jiro. That little party has gone on in another day, and the next they were going off back to their main island, back home, and back into the dorms. I thought this would last longer, so I'm going to talk about some other details. So 2 days has finally passed. It was a full week off because all the stuff that's been happening, they get a week off. And Zuko, with this extra time, decided to wake up a little later than usual. Wakes up about the same time as everybody else. So he gets dressed, goes to breakfast, see everybody else, and talks with them as he's eating breakfast. They're talking about what they should do for what they're should be. Well, either go shopping, get some more food, get some more clothes, as they're saying. But Zuko actually explained to them that it's a good day to go training, so I'm going to be doing that. Some of them have suspicions that Zuko and Jiro is dating. And Sugar Rush, Sato, I think that's his name, said, so are you and Jiro dating? And Zuko said, and turned around and said, "Yeah, what, you got a problem?" And Sato said, "No, it's not that. It's just I've seen you guys together a lot, so I just assume you guys are close friends. But since you say you're dating, good on you, man." Izuku said, thanks. I'm gonna go train now." And when Jiro said, well, finally came in and sees Izuku leaving, she asked where he's going. He said he's training. And Jiro said, I never seen you train. Don't I thought All Might is off for the week. Izuku said, yeah, I'm going off training by myself. Jiro gets a little blush and asks if it's alright if she can train with him. Izuku thinks about it and said, are you sure? I do go quite hard on my training. And Kirishima and the rest, basically all the guys, said it can't be that hard without All Might. I bet it's almost easier. Zuko looks at them, kind of chuckles, and said, how about, after he stopped chuckling, said, how about you guys train with me and see how long you can last? They say, okay, what time? And Zuko said, about 30 minutes. The girls actually wanted to go shopping, so they went. But they wanted to see what the guys are going to be doing. So they wait for about, they say they'll wait about an hour and then leave. Okay. So they do. Let me go to another picture. This one's good. Basically, no headsets, no backpack, no gloves, no jacket waist, and no holster for on his leg. Basically, orange and green pants. He looks like this, walks out, and see how everybody else is. I said he stretched out just a bit, 5 minutes max, and asked everybody if they're ready. And they said they are. And so they asked, so what's the first step? And Zuko said, I usually do a 5 lap around UA. No, 10 laps around UA without my quirk. And then after that I do shadow boxing. So they do. Zuko, in those 10 laps, took him 10 minutes. And it's a huge building. And Zuko was able to finish that. He used his quirk, of course, but mostly just maxing at 5% and pushing it as far as he can with that 5%. Where all the other guys took them a few minutes. And after 30 minutes, they finally are done. They were only able to do 5 laps since Zuko told them 5 laps. He did, and they're really tired and out of breath, and they are all thinking. And he said, "This is a warm up." And Zuko started fighting. He charged up 5% over his body and start doing punches at a shadow figure. He sometimes asks a plasma if he could make a clone of himself and help him train. Plasma does. When he disappeared, Zuko explained that what shadow boxing is. Basically, think of the one person that you cannot beat, which is basically All Might, and imagine him hitting you, but slowing down his punches. And just dodge and punch, dodge and punch. And sooner or later, you'll get used to it and you can go faster. They think of it, and they think of other people to fight against, but they never fought against anybody as strong as All Might. So Zuko said, okay, how about we spar, all of you against me, to make it fair. Some of them kind of chuckled, said, you can't beat all of us, that's not. And Zuko said, remember, I was going against All Might, and I trained with him. I think I can beat you guys. So they took a stance, and that little scene happens of Zuko taking down each and every one of them. Tokoyami first goes up against him. Basically, the mid or long range fighters went up against him. Let me see. So Yayama, who, Denki, Sero, Toroki. No, not Toroki. And Tokoyami attack with their long range or mid range attacks. Zuko dodged the laser, takes in Denki's lightning. When he got grabbed by Sero's tape, he put some lightning on it to electrify him, and then with Dark Shadow, he just made a big flash bang, which made Dark Shadow even weaker than he is. And everybody else, Ida, Hajiro, Kirishima, Satoru, and Soji, the arm guy, this guy, right by Jiro, got taken down. There, he was getting. They were fighting against him. Ida is focused more on speed, so he's trying to take down his legs. But Zuko's legs are strong enough where he can take the hit. After that one kick, it felt like Ida is hitting a metal post, hurting his leg, and basically making him obsolete. Kirishima, Hajiro, Satoru is fighting against him at the same time, and Zuko dodged in certain ways where Kirishima and Satoru accidentally hit Hajiro, knocking him out, and Zuko did a back spinning fist with both of his arms coming out, hitting both of them and having them be out. And Satoru, he saw all this and decided to try to fight. Hopefully that's not the guy. Decided to fight and see how one punch was enough to make him get down to his knees and say he gives up. So Zuko said, okay, with all that done, okay, now you saw how I fought against you, so just think of that every time you're trying to fight. So close your eyes and throw a punch. When I hit you, try to dodge. And make sure it's faster than what you can handle. So they do. Some of them are showing and trying. But these are mostly for the close range fighters. Ida explained that he can't really handle all of this. So Zuko had to say, since you focus most on your kicks, how about you try Muay Thai that focus on kicking? And don't use your engine as you do laps. So Ida does. Zuko asks Ayama to throw out a laser from his belly button, which hurts, and he asks if he could do it anywhere else. He said he tries, but every time he does, it makes a burn mark on his hand, and it doesn't come out as bright or sparkly. Zuko thinks about this and asks Ayama if he's able to hold the laser in on his stomach but not shoot it out. Ayama never thought of it and he tries. It looks weird, but Zuko asks if he could do this as long as possible and then shoot it out when you can't hold it. So Ayama is doing this. All the other people are basically the same, and Zuko is fighting against Kirishima with lightning. So when lightning goes towards him, he shoots it back to Denki, just enough where he doesn't short circuit, and then repeats that motion until it's over. And to their surprise, they've been doing this for 2 hours, and they do get a power up. But they are very shocked that Zuko does this every time. But Zuko explained it's not this easy. I usually go longer, but with you guys, it's more training for me as well. So it's all in good fun. Now the girls. When they were out shopping, basically Mina, Suyu, Oraka, Jiro, Momo, and Invisible Girl are all shopping together. They're laughing, they're having fun, until Suyu finally asks Oraka, so what were you thinking when you cheated on Zuko? And they were at a restaurant, very quiet. Momo bought out the whole restaurant so they can just talk and have fun. And all the girls finally turned and said, "Yeah, what made you cheat on Zuko?" And Uraka stops, looked at them and said, "Honestly, nothing. I thought I wanted more, and I thought Zuko would not give it to me, so I caved in with Bakugo's approaches." And Suyu asked, "What do you mean by approaches?" Well, Uraka said, "Well, he has tempted me to go out with him ever since we were dating. I was dating with Zuko." And she kind of like scratched part of her arm and said, "Well, one day I felt alone, lonely. Basically a keyword for something else. And Zuko was out training, but she saw Bakugo right there, egging her on to do something. And Bakugo kissed her very violently. She was about to push back, but Bakugo pushed her against the wall and started kissing her a little more. And she never felt, and she explained this, and I never felt that way before. And she thought she liked it, so she kept going until it was too late. She wanted to stop at one point, but she was enjoying it. And she doesn't like that she enjoyed it, even though she knows that this one day she's gonna break Zuko's heart. And yeah, I'm really sorry. I just didn't think it through. Now the girls are finally understanding how she probably had felt, but Jiro is still pissed at her because of what she did. But she started thinking more about it and actually said, "You know, if you guys didn't break up, this might sound bad, but I'm actually happy that you guys broke up, because I will never have a chance to go out with him. He's such a great guy." And she's explaining all the things that she had gone through with Zuko. Nothing big yet. And Mina actually asked, "So did you and Zuko ever done it before?" Which Jiro kind of stopped, looks away, and starts drinking some of her drink. So, and Momo said, "Wait, you guys actually did it?" And well, sorry, I forgot her name. Jiro said, she's choking on her drink, said, "Yeah, we actually, yeah, we did it." They're asking more details about this, especially Raka, since she finally gave out her speech, and the girls are finally giving her more of a chance, even or Jiro. And they finally asked the one question that they're all wondering about: how big was he? Or first, Mina asked, "How good is he with it?" And Jiro explained how long it lasted. And that was without the coloring and foreplay. And then they Tsuyu actually asked, how many times did you and Zuko become without the B? And Jiro said this amount, which is in the double digits, which shocked all the girls, especially Araka. She didn't think that Zuko can do this. And she's getting a little jealous, but she feels more guilt that she did it with Bakugo instead of Zuko. And then Momo, no, actually, Hakagure, the invisible girl, asked, how big was he? And Jiro said, at the first time, it was 6, or eight, I think 8, I don't remember. And then one of them said, first time. So you did multiple times? And Jiro said, yeah. Wasn't so bad that we didn't do it multiple times. They asked, like, when or what time, or... And she explained, most of it started when we were doing studying together in my room. As she's still looking away, blushing. So they say, so every night that you and Zuko are in your room, or his room, you guys did it? And Jiro said, just in my room. Not in his. He doesn't want to ruin his sheets. And then one of them finally asked, so you said it at first. Did it just got bigger? As they're all kind of ready to think that it can get bigger. And Jiro said, yeah. Last time we did it, it was 10 inches. As she finally like blushes and tries to cover her mouth, saying, oh wait, no, it's what? Well, it's nothing big, and everybody say, not big, that's huge. And they can't even think of doing it, and Jiro has been going on. Now, after that moment, and finally calming down, now Tsuyu, of everybody, asks Uraka, and you guys have done it with, you and Baku have done it multiple times. We all heard it. You guys are very loud. Uraka, with no blush, said, yeah. She knows where this is coming from. Tsuyu asked, how long did he last? And Uraka said, he did not do any of the foreplay or cuddling. He did it and done. Even she got the short. She basically is saying she got the short end of the deal. She said at first it was good. The rough part of it was nice and well, but after a while it got boring. He did not want to do any other positions. And she's just a little more frustrated that Bakugo, she's saying this out loud, Bakugo is all big and tall, but really he's nothing impressive. He doesn't last 5 minutes at most. Which shocks everybody. They actually thought that Bakugo will last longer, since he keeps talking with a big mouth. He's better than everybody. And Jiro said, yeah. Even Zuko said his first time, he lasted about an hour. And she accidentally said this first time, which gave them the impression that Zuko did it with someone else. Momo turns to her and now asking, wait, the way that you say it, it sounds like that Zuko did it with someone else. Jiro turns away, he completely covering her ears, and it said, "What? I did not say that. You're just hearing things." Which was an obvious tell that she's lying. And now everybody's wondering who did he did it with, and then one of them thought, "Wait, you said that he lasted an hour his first time, and he just got better after that?" They can't think of anything else, so they're asking for more details about this. And Jiro is shutting down every time they try to pry more answers from her, which is not budging. She's not saying anything, because the next video will be doing that. Yeah, I got something planned for this. How much time I have? 51? Yeah, I can go. Now they're all on the bus after all of that, coming back, learning how Zuko's training is very difficult, and Todoroki saying, maybe I should train with you as well. But sadly I had to go with my father agency for some stuff. Now, godly. Now they're on the bus. They're getting on the bus, and Bakugo's being a little difficult, as well as Manila, because he's looking at all the girls. Zuko did a snap, which had a little lightning going from his fingers toward Manila on his back, which shocked him his whole body. He said, "Yes, yes, what?" And to look at Zuko with some lightning coming off his hand, and which gave Manila the signal, yeah, he should stop, and kept going. With Bakugo, he's being very difficult, where Zuko raised his hand with lightning and said, "Bakugo, are you sure you want to do this? I can knock you out until we get there." Bakugo, with an arrogant mouth, said, "Like you can try. I've been training more than you can ever think of." And so Bakugo, or Shoto, or Mr. Aizawa, was about to raise his scarf, but Zuko signaled him not to. Zuko did a charge on his one right fist, and right at the point where Bakugo was about to throw an explosion, Zuko knocked him out with that one bitch slap. And Todoroki knew what was going on. Zuko actually gave him the signal to record this, and saw the whole thing unfold again. Now, after that, he's showing the video to everybody in the class and the group chat, that they're recording this often every time and still laughing at this. Even Araka's laughing. She's enjoying herself. She's becoming more friendly with, becoming more friends with everybody, Ike and Canon now. Zuko asked Jiro, "So what's going on with you two? You guys seem more close." And Jiro actually tell him the story of how Araka did it, which did piss off Zuko, but he understands it. And when Zuko hears that, she's a little happy that they broke up, for this won't never happen. And Zuko said, "Yeah, all of this would never have happened if she didn't." So in a way, I'm also happy, but don't tell her that. She said, okay. Now, they get off the bus, and it's where I'm going to be. No, actually, I'll go a little further. I'll do an hour, even though it's getting there. Now they get off the bus, and they're being shown that this is not a break. This is actually a training camp, which you all are going to be trained in. They pointed, the Pussycats are there, and they all pointed over to one area, which Zuko gets immediately. He grabs onto. He was close to no, to Jiro, and he kind of grabbed her from behind. And she turned and said, "Wait, not in front of everybody." Izuku is still focused on their talking. And the moment that the earthquake or avalanche went down, Zuko grabbed a tighter on around Jiro's waist, jumped up. While in the air, he positioned her to a point where he's holding her bridle style, and landed down with everybody else on his feet and asked Jiro if she's okay. Some of the girls turned to him and said, "You could have warned us." But Zuko said, "Her first, you guys later." Which kind of hurt, but the guys are just thinking so smooth. But they're getting the explanation to run to the center. Zuko said, "All right." And they also say, "This is private property, so you guys are allowed to use your quirks." Zuko clapped his hands and rubbed his hands real quick. And they said, "Go." And Zuko is still doing it. Well, in Manila, he actually went off to a certain area and peed. He did not pee on himself. For Zuko to charge up, and Denki is seeing Zuko just rubbing his hands together constantly, and his hands are starting to get a blue lightning coming out of him. And Zuko is spreading out his hands just inch by inch to a point where it's as big as his body, and he points it towards just going straight and going through each and every single. First, let me explain. He charged up one for all and into his fingers, rubbing it to get it all gathered up to 50%. And instead of focusing on the fourth, he was more focused on the lightning, because that's going to be his second quirk, his lightning. Since you guys, well, I think you guys like it. And he points it out all 10 of his fingers, and each lightning is going straight through the trees, the floor, and the monsters that was straight at them. And then some kind of like a wave of sorts, saying like webbing kind of thing, came out of his hands, but was an air blast, which made it cut through the whole forest and a width of his body straight towards the center. And Zuko signaled to everybody, "Come on, follow me. We're going straight towards through it." As Mandalay say, "Watch out, it's a beast for a reason." So they see some monsters, and they're doing some teamwork in canon to fight against it. And Zuko tells them all to focus on running. I'll focus on the monsters, and Todoroki and Kaminari and Ayama, you guys help me with these monsters. Whoever gets close enough, we take them down. If they're not in the way, we do not attack. Understood? They said yes, and everybody else started running. Bakugo stayed behind and fought each and every monster, beast that he can see. He did not want to listen at all. And so in turn, Bakugo is the last one to get there. After 2 hours of going through it, and Mandalay actually said for the pro, it would take 3 hours to get there, or they would miss dinner. Sorry. It took them 2 hours to get there, and some of them, well, the guys are saying, "Dude, man, with your training, it really helped. I could last longer." And curious. Actually, Ida was actually holding Uraraka since she got dizzy at one point, and he decided to pick her up because she was flagging behind, and he was holding her bridal style, which in turn made some sparks shoot out from her heart as she looks up and seeing Ida being so brave and carrying her throughout the whole time. Now, they finally get there. Oh yeah, it's not on this one. It's gonna be the next one. Golly, yeah, I forgot. But anyway, they finally get to the center. Everybody's tired, but they are taking a break because they were told it would take them 3 hours. So they're just waiting there for the other hour. But when Bakugo finally came to the end, took him 5 hours. That's when Mandalay and everybody else finally gets out of the building. They assumed that since Bakugo was the last one, that everybody else was just further up ahead. They did not think to look outside to see all the everybody else being very well rested and just sitting there waiting in a circle, talking and having fun, playing some games, and they see off in the distance Bakugo in the back, exhausted on his last arms and knees, breathing heavily. Aizawa asking, "So what has happened?" Manade, or one of the persons that was talking about her quirk, that they were only able to see Bakugo this whole time, and just assumed that everybody else was taking care of the monster so fast that she didn't see them. But Zuko explained, actually, what really happens, that Bakugo did not want to listen to his orders, and we ran straight through the forest with my quirk, as he's messing with his hair because it got a little dirty. But Jiro was actually in the back of his hair just ruffling it and playing with it, saying it's so soft. And Zuko kind of like stopped her and said, and anyway, Baku didn't want to listen, so he stayed in the back, taking care of each and every monster. We just avoid the ones that we weren't getting attacked by, and the ones he pointed to the people that helped them with long range, saying the long range fighters helped me with them. As everybody else just took care of each other and go through. They all understand this. And Zuko sees a little kid right by them. He gets close to Kota and asks him, "So hey, how are you doing? I see you're here gloomy." With no warning, he tried to throw a punch. Zuko sees this in slow motion, and he just backed up in 2 inches. Just 2 inches, where the hit straight to his groin does not affect him. He said, "Kid, what are you trying to do?" And he's in shock that Zuko is not crouched down in a field position, even though he clearly felt the blow hitting him. And every guy sees this and covering their bag, their cross section, saying, "Ooh," but they're even more surprised, saying, "What?" As they're all saying this. Even Jiro saying, "Okay, huh?" And Zuko just gets up and with no effect, because it really didn't hit him. It just made it look like it hit him. Okay? And Zuko just stands straight up and says, "So, what was that for?" Kola is saying, "Whatever," and walks away, as he's kind of like impressed that kid was able to take a punch in that area and not flinch. Which Bakugo saw that, and he is thinking, I can't do that. I'm getting outdone by a stupid nerd. Now I'm going to end it at this point, because the next part will be spicy. and you guys are going to wait until that happens. Bye.